Let's now have a look at an example of a bearish base pattern. And as with all these other patterns, we want to find them at key higher time frame levels of support or resistance. So first thing we want to do is identify the largest swing down. So you can see on this 4-hour chart, nice and compressed, we've got this big uptrend and prices started to drop. You can see lower highs, lower lows. And if we take our Fibonacci tool and draw it from the very high down to this very low, and we just zoom this up, if we take a horizontal tool and we just drop it from the high, just work our way down, you can see around this 38% level right here. Have a look at this area of support in here, close below, comes back, resistance, look at this spike, resistance showing rejection, prices back up to that level again. So this is an area that you want to be looking for a potential pattern. Don't necessarily want to just click sell at a key level like this. Okay, you can do, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but again, we want to look for confirmation, okay, that price is actually stalling out at this area. So if we have a look at the smaller time frame, just move over to the 5-minute chart. This is where the pattern set up. Compress this and get rid of this eclipse. You see how we have this key area from that 38 Fibonacci area, as well as the horizontal support resistance. See how price comes up, hits it, big rejection down, and then price rallies, comes back, retests that area, see resistance, becomes support, pops up, big move up, and then all of a sudden we get a big move down like this. Okay, this is institutional flow coming into the market, sucking in the sort of amateur buyers, guys that like to chase price. Watch for signs like this big rejection. So what you want to look for, as I said, with these key areas, is you want to look for potential patterns. Okay, and we've obviously gone over quite a few patterns. This is the bearish base pattern that's set up on this this particular area. Just step this forward. You see how price now commits below the level. Once you get that actual commitment below a level like this, okay, you want to look to place a sell limit order, or put your limit order, or you can use a market order, but just be on your toes, okay, because on a short time frame like this, price can really move pretty quickly. So this area right here again, I'm referencing this base right here. Okay, I want to put a sell limit with a stop loss above this high. Now obviously with this big spike, that's quite a big stop for these patterns, and it's going to vary from currency pair to pair, as well as what your sort of your range, your volatility is like. When the market's sort of in a tight range, these spikes are going to be maybe 10 pips or so, whereas because the volatility is quite big on this at the moment, we're looking at like 20 pips. So let's just have a look at putting a sell limit. Okay, here again, you see the base. This is the base right here. Price comes down, there's nothing there. Now that we've had an actual close below the level, that's what I'm interested in. Now in terms of closes below a level, the higher the time frame, the better. But here again, understand that the environment or the area that this is happening at. Okay, good dealing level of resistance, good dealing level of support. Now we've closed below, so I'm looking for this area to hold like it did here. Okay, so we go 29.40, go 1 pip below 44 with a stop loss. It's 22. Place that in there, and I'll just step this forward. You see this little dealing level. Now price is likely to find support here, rally into resistance. Okay, and then from there we want to watch this area pretty closely. Okay, so there's your spike. We've had a spike up. We want to watch to see if price stays below this area. Okay, that's pretty important here. This dealing level, as long as that holds, we're good to go. Price is now popping up a little bit. Okay, you don't want to get sort of shaken out by a little candle like this. Okay, understand this is a key higher time frame daily resistance area, right? See this dealing level here, holding again. See this area? Comes back. Remember, we spoke about coming deeper, picking up more orders. We want to see this level now taken out, okay? Just comes right back again. Let's just have a look at the hourly chart, what's going on here. I'll just go to open position. So there's the open position right there. And there's the hourly chart. So big spike. Look at the rejection here, picking up some order flow around this area. Really want to see price break down. You see this little block here, this one here, this bearish candle, that one. We want to see price close below that. If price can close below that, then we're very likely heading down to this area here. So in terms of targets, we've got, let's just compress this. We've got a pretty decent area, a little bit sloppy here, but if you zoom in here, you see how where price comes down, test resistance, resistance, close above, support, support, back, resistance, resistance, right through again, resistance, then it comes back again, support, 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 support. So around this 28, we can even move it up slightly into the bodies here. This area 28.81. Now if we can clear this area, that would be a good place to take profits. Let's go back to the 5 minute and watch this level closely. Here again, I'm not going to be too aggressive with moving the stop just yet. I want to see price release. This is that hourly level we marked off. If we can close below that, especially closing below on an hourly chart, okay, then I'm going to be keen to reduce some risk moving the stop. You see this base here. This is going to be a good reference point. I'm just going to mark this little dealing level here for now. Okay, so we're coming right back down into that hourly area. Alright, so now we're moving down. It'll close below the 5. That's good. What's happening on the hourly chart? Okay, just have a look here. So that's pretty nice. Big spike. Okay, rejecting. You see how price comes up. It spikes the 38, but we talk about candle closes. There's no commitment. Okay, no commitment on the higher time frame. Comes down, use it as resistance. Now we've closed. You see this candle? Now we've closed below this area. That's good, because now what we could see is price come back and retest this dealing area as potential resistance. Okay, so that's going good for the trade. Just want to step this forward a little bit further. I think what I want to do, if we can just see price come down a little bit lower, yeah, that's fine. Taking out these lows here. Actually, let's just see if we can get these lows taken out. These lows here. Okay, taking out these lows here and here. So what I want to do is I want to move the stop down. Don't want to get to break even, but I want to move the stop down to just above these highs here. So high is 29.50, 50. Let's go at 50, 52, 29.52. So reduce that risk. Okay, right down above these highs. So if price comes back and spikes into this area, you can hopefully see some more selling coming and hold price off. Okay, still moving down nicely here. I'll go to the hourly chart. Remember, very importantly with these patterns, just because it's a 5 minute pattern, we're only using it to get in and reduce risk. Okay, so we're adding more value to basically a daily trade, okay, or a 4 hour trade. Okay, so it's a 4 hour level or daily level that we're looking at, but we reducing the risk. Okay, essentially we looking for better value in terms of risk reward. Okay, so if we can do that on a 5 minute trade instead of having big stops, you know, if you get good at this, you can really ramp up that risk reward on your trade. And what I want to do now, see if we've close below these areas. We've got this last bullish candle. Okay, I'd like to see that level hold right there. I'll just step this forward a little bit. Okay, a bit of a spike up. Okay, so we've had a little range. See the range here? When price drops like it's closed below this area and it doesn't quite get back up here, okay, that's a good sign for your trade that you're likely to head lower. Okay, because there's not enough bids in the market to even push it back up to this dealing level. So you see this area here. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to use this area as protection, and I'm going to move my my entry or my stop loss right down, and I want to move it down to just below. You see this swing high here, just above that. So that high is 29.24. So let's go 29.26. 29.26. And I also at the same time I want to get my take profit in. I like this area down here. You see how we've had price come down, spikes into this last little bearish candle here. Big spike, big spike. This is area showing rejection here. So around this 28, between sort of 80 and 90 level is where I want to take profit. Okay, so I'm going to look around 28, let's say 85, 28.85. Remember, we want to add the spread when we're taking profits on a sell, and that's going to bring us down into this area. You can see some institutional flows. Look at the rejection in terms of spikes here. Okay, so I want to see this level now hold. We've reduced our risk on the trade, got something locked in. So you see our price closes below the level, and here once again it can't even move back up and test this last little bullish candle here. Okay, also good indication. It's the second time it's done it. It may come back up and retest it now. You see that? Okay, that's a good indication that the market's pretty heavy in terms of price not even coming back to test this block. So now we're spiking lower. So I come down, testing this little block here. Also take profits there if you want. Okay, remember, little last little reference block there, little pop, holding again. I want to now see this last bullish candle right there. I want to see that hold. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to move my stop down to just above this high. This high is 29, this high here, 29.12. I'm going to go 29.14. Okay, 29.14. Modify that. So we've now locked in a nice bit of profit. We've locked in like 30 pips or something. Step this forward a little bit. I'm just going to go to the 5-minute chart. Okay, so now we've had a little release down. That's good for the trade. Going up 54 pips. Moving down towards that target. Just have a look at the hourly, as well as have a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, have a look to see what that bigger time frame is showing you. Maybe you want to, let the trade run in terms of, what's the 4-hour. Is there big rejection going on in terms of candle action, etc.? Has it closed below a key level? You can see we're coming down. Remember that area right there that we marked as a potential take profit? You see this level here that I've just marked here. You see this last bearish candle and price started to rally like this. That area right there is where I want to be taking my profit. So that's, now that I've looked at it, I just want to adjust this take profit area, because that's, I know for a fact these levels, those blocks that we spoke about, are very, very powerful for entries as well as for taking profit. So 28.87, we've got to take profit 85. So what I want to do is 28. We currently bid market is at 28.90. What I want to do is 28.80, 28.88. Let's see if we can modify this. Okay, so 28.88, basically just above that level, 87. Price needs to actually trade to 87, and then we'll see what happens. So there's the spike down. Okay, price actually has moved down to 83. So we've actually been taking on a profit. But have a look at, let's just go back to that 4-hour. Have a look at this block right here. Okay, reference your higher time frames. Look at the key area here. Okay, very, very key level. You have support in here, becomes resistance, 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 support. There's that last block right there. Okay, right there is what you want to reference. Okay, if buyers are going to come in, and let's just see what happens. Spikes lower, picks up more order flow below the level. We get a pop higher. Okay, so let's just show you the account there. We got taken out for 56 pips. Nice little trade. That was a bearish base trade.